To implement what we developed in the analysis video, we first need to create a script. And then we should start look at what we devised as our plan. And I'm going to start with developing the function, calculate total price. Something to remember here is that when we developed this plan, we said that alright, we left out the parameters, but there should be two parameters here. One for the price and one for the tip percentage. So I have to remember that when I look at my flowchart here. And if we take a look at the code that we have written here, we can see that, all right, we defined a function called calculate total price that takes two parameters, the price and the tip percentage. And I imagine that the tip percentage is an integer value. Like if we want the tip to be 5%, we would give a 5 as the argument here. But to be able to calculate how much that is inside the function, we divide that by 100 so that it becomes 0,05. We multiply that with the price and we get the actual tip. So what would then the total amount that we should pay be? That is the price plus what we just calculated to be the tip. All right, and what should we do with that? We should return that amount. So we see that, all right, we calculate the tip, it's this line here, and then we add a tip to the price to get the total amount that we should pay, and then we return that last step here. So we return out from this function. And to be able to test it, I will add a little bit more code here to read the price and the tip percentage from the user, and then to call this function we just wrote here and to display the final price. And if we take a look at this code that shall correspond to what we have on the left side here, we should first input the price and the tip percentage. We can see that we do that here. We make sure to save whatever we input as integer values, as numbers in price and tip percent. After that, we should call our function. And here we should also remember that we need to send along those arguments. So that is this line here. Something else to take note of here is that if we call the function, and we see both here in our plan but also here in the code that it will return something, that value that we are returning, we must save it somewhere, and we can save it in this variable that we have called total here. So we call the function, we send along price and tip percent, that is stored in the calculation will happen in the function, and the result will be stored in the variable total. And after that we print total. Something to note here is that we do use functions that take parameters and that return values, but something else to note here is that we should try to use good naming so that it becomes easier to read the code for someone who have never seen it before. But just by how we name things, it's easier to understand. As an example, if we look at this line here, the total amount that we should pay is equal to the price plus the tip. All right, even if we don't see the other lines, we can understand what this line wants to do. So that is something that we should take with us for future tasks, that we should have good naming. And as a final thing here, we will try to run it and just make sure that everything works. And if we say that the price is 100 and I want to give a tip of 15%, then the total amount to pay would be 150.